Hey, P2, do you want to hear some trivia?
Oh, mate, I love a good game of trivia.
Guess what happens when a chook and two pelicans get together?
What's that, mate?
A clucking good time. That's right, you pelicans. The wobbly chook has jumped on board, keeping the bird presence strong. Whether you like a pale ale, brown ale, IPA, or a lager, the wobbly chook has you catered. Crafted from Yamba's finest chooks.
Better still, Mick, how do we get some wobbly chook?
That's easy, P2. Jump online at www.wobblychookbrewingco.com or pop into 26 Cole Street in the heart of Yamba.
And have a clucking good time.
Cluck out.
Always remember, don't be a mud gudgeon and drink responsibly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Two Pelicans podcast. So you would have just missed that.
G'day, you pelicans.
Here he was. You were sort of hung up on his
Go and have a good time there a bit later on.
Pelicans landing in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, you weapons. We are back from the silly season. I am Joey.
I am Mick, and we are the Two Pelicans of 2025.
Well, welcome back to all our listeners. And if you're new around here at the Two Pelicans, we're the fishing podcast here to make fishing great once again, mate, and to get all these weapons and all these pelicans through that bit of a tough hole work week, ready for a bit of a fish on the weekend.
That's right. One cast, one throw, one lure. We're here to make fishing great at a time.
That's right, mate. And a huge shout out to each and every one of our listeners. We hope that you guys have had a fantastic silly season, and now we're into the blur season. Recovering, I'm sure, as a lot of you are listening to this, you're back into your work by now.
Yeah.
Most people will be back to work. But, mate, we've got a bit of a bumper episode in store here today. We're literally going to cover a few little bits and pieces that we've got around there. But the main thing is, mate, I think going to fill up most of the show. What have we been up to?
We've had I think 4 or 5 weeks off doing this podcast, so we've got lots to talk about. We don't even have time to actually get someone on, so it's just going to be us just absolutely talking rubbish. But look, I thought it was good. I think we put a post up. We went to your house there just before Christmas. We had a good afternoon. We drank a few cans, a few chooks, and yeah, it was a great time had by all.
It was real good, mate, and let me tell you, she was quite a long evening. I think at about 11:20 that night on my driveway, my wife produced a cob loaf. She went inside and cooked up a cob loaf, and I think we were still there at 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's 10 points there.
Yeah, 10 points for her. And no, the chooks got absolutely smoked that night. And my old mate was there, and we hit the old homebrew rums, and she was a fair session. But hey, that's what the silly season's for, you know,
that's right.
Getting about it. But no, it was good to catch up through the break, mate, but we haven't really spoken a lot over this time because we've just been so busy. So, mate, just dive in. Let's hit us. What have we been up to? What have you been up to?
Oh, where do you want to start? We'll start before Christmas. Look, I had a week off, really just working on that boat, and, you know, I've probably got it around about 95% ready to go. Look, I'll probably put a full boat drop or boat review in probably about the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go away next week, so that's why it's going to be 2 weeks now. I've just decided I'm going to have a week off. So I'll put that up in maybe 2 weeks. I'm still just waiting on a couple little things. We've had 1 or 2 little technical issues, which we've ironed out now. And, just waiting on a couple extra parts. And then that boat will be fully operational like the Death Star out of Star Wars.
Yeah, good. Unreal, mate. That's awesome. Good to finally get it on the water. And I did see there over Christmas, over Christmas to give it a fair pounding, mate. So that was awesome.
Yeah. So I got a bit of a funny story, which, you know, we'll talk about later. It's a bit of a mud gudgeon one on myself, but anyhow, we'll bring that up later. It's it's not one of my best moments in life, so we'll talk about it a bit later.
Yeah, on the boat front, mate, I guess we'll just sort of go back and forwards. We'll skip sort of past the Christmas here, but I finally put mine on the water. A couple of weeks ago, and as we know, the listeners, I got a fair bit of work done to it down from the legends at Yamaha. And it was really, really refreshing, I guess you could say, to put something to use and be absolutely 100% impressed with it. I was blown away. And
you banged a few fish too, just quietly?
Had a great day offshore, headed out from mackerel. I sort of didn't go far enough south, but I sort of knew that. But it ended up with a nice dolly, good cobes, some big tailor, GTs, you know, slow trolling liveys, and the whole experience was just made so much more enjoyable from my boat. You know,
Yeah.
like it was pretty gnarly. Got to the bar, and although it was flat-ish, bottom of the tide, there was a bit of a break happening, and sort of just waited and not used to having a console, just a puncher, and just punched it and had something to hang on to. And
Yeah.
Robbie and the team there repropped the motor, and it's performing the best it's ever performed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
blown away by it, and now I've got something to lean up against.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
ocean when you're bottom bashing. So
Look, I
stoked.
spoke to him there briefly, and you know, he's actually helped another mate out there, old rascal there, put a 115 on his, which funnily enough was one of my older boats, but he was very stoked to see you in the action of the fish, and everything's all dandy. So you know, he's a bloke that likes to hear back with how their stuff's gone after it's left their shop. And you know, that's how you want to see people QA their work and that. So big shout out to Robbie.
My old man's boat went down there today as we're recording this. He's got a few little dramas, and spoke to Robbie on the phone, and within about 25 seconds he told me exactly what was wrong with it, and it's down there getting fixed. So shout out to those legends. But mate, carry on.
Yeah, look, I think if we move forward to there, we obviously had Christmas, so had a nice little get together. It was the first time in 6 years where we didn't have Christmas at my house, so I was quietly excited about that. Usually we're running around trying to get shit organised and all the rest of it, but my mother took the reins this year, which was good, so it was good just to turn up, eat and go home. So we went around, went and seen my cousin there for a couple of cans, but no, it was a good day had by all. Yourself?
Yeah, mate, very much the same. Christmas was super quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of didn't really do much. Just me and the kids and my wife, of course, and mum and dad come around, and mate, that was literally about it. It was just a chilled. I didn't even really have too many cans, to be honest. Just sort of relaxed, and had planned on heading away on Boxing Day, but the sort of weather was a bit off to go for a fish, and we were heading off to Newcastle the day after. So we just hung around and packed, and headed off to the Big Smoke. Drove down there, and we got a little mud gudgeon off the back of that drive down there, that lovely highway. But headed down to Newcastle, and enjoyed that down there, and did the New Year's fireworks and all that jazz, and got a couple of little funny yarns off the back of that. We'll tell there later on. But just had a good time. I went and spent some time with my wife's sister and her kids and that, which was fantastic. And didn't really do a lot, mate. Just, I think it was a bit of a general consensus this year. You know, like a lot of my mates sort of, what did you do? And the answer was pretty like what we've said. It was pretty chilled. I don't think anyone's in a financial position at present to go and do these wild things. But mate, what else? Move along.
Yeah, look, I'll just probably just touch on New Year's there. So, or through that period, we went and had a bit of time down to Iluka for a couple of days with the mate. Shout out to Skin for letting me stay in the backyard in the jigger. So we're down there for a couple of days, and it was one of them things where we decided to hold up the bolo one day, and then we held up Sedges Reef the next day. We jammed a few cans into ourselves, and then probably saved back up in the afternoon and went for a quiet little fish at night. So it was pretty good, but. I sort of. How was
Iluka for New Year's? Was she pumping?
No, this is before New Year's. So what I would say was I was actually really surprised about how quiet it was.
And I think that just jumps back perfectly what I said before, mate. I think a lot of people just aren't financially. Like I know myself. Like it's tough at the minute. Cost of living, everything's going through the roof.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So we went and done that. Out of that, I've got a couple of mud gudgeon stories, but we'll save that. I think mud gudgeon's going to get a fair run over this. Yeah, we're seeing a fair bit going on, but actually, no, we'll bring this up now.
Bring it up.
Drop it in.
We've got no rules here.
It's not really a mud gudgeon. It's just a lot of observing going on. So we went down and done a bit of boat ramp watching.
A bit of critter watching.
Yeah, we were a little bit dusty, and we thought, we won't put the boat out. We'll come down the main boat ramp there at Iluka and have a bit of a gander of all the shit that goes on.
And a couple more beers.
Yeah. Anyhow, so long story short, we're there, and this dude's just turned up. He's got a pack of Winnie Blue in his top pocket there. Lights the dart as he's driving the boat back. gets out of the car, dart in the mouth, like life's good. And motor's actually still full down, and then he's just pushed the boat off, and the motor's just gone goosh, 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 goosh on the boat ramp, and I'm like, oh my God. And we felt like we needed some science to say, yeah, that was a 8 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 or something like that. But the best one of the day was this guy's turned up in a putt-putt boat, and one of them old wooden diesel bloody, the thing would have been 7 or 8 meters long. Anyhow, he's taken up the whole boat ramp, right? This is about 9 o'clock in the morning. He's taken up the whole boat ramp. He's jumped in the boat. He's 70-something in the shade, right? And he's got his 2 sons that don't look like boaties trying to unhitch everything. So once again, they're unhitching it before it goes in the water, which is my pet hate.
Yeah.
And from there, they're trying to undo it. Then they had to get spanners to undo the D-shackles and all the rest of it. And he's like, what are you doing, boys? And now these roosters come down, like, they're pretty good dudes. Like, they're just fishermen, They just come down and said, do you just want a hand? Like, we've been up here for, like, 10 minutes waiting for you blokes. So they were there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And they had 4 boats behind them waiting to go in, right? So, no, she'll be right. And next minute, old mate's got the putt-putt boat out, and he's just whacked her in reverse. It's nearly hit the boat that was on the point of the pontoon there. And he's like, and then he's punched her back into forward, and he sort of half glided near the jetty, then nearly went back up onto his trailer.
Jesus.
Yeah. And that guy got it. And like, but it was sort of, because he was an old dude, it was sort of like, it was like the last day of his life. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He was
Good
like,
on him.
hey, he was having a great time.
Good on him.
Yeah. So, and then anyhow, the fishers come down, and they put their boat in. They're only there for like 2 minutes, and as he's coming back down to get in the boat, he goes, I said, oh, yeah, that was pretty interesting, mate. He goes, I reckon you got the best seat in the house, eh? And I said, fucking oath we do. I said, this is great entertainment. So
you should have recorded that. That could have been some content for the Pelicans.
Should have.
While we're talking about New Year's and yarns, I will tell my yarn, because otherwise I'm gonna forget.
Forget it, yeah.
So
we might just timeline things.
Yeah, we can do that.
So we don't forget. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's just tell it as we tell it. Yeah. So New Year's, we've been down to the foreshore at Newcastle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we went down. We're a little bit later there, but we're still like probably best part of 2 hours before the fireworks.
Yep.
So we go down there, carry on, and we're having a few beers.
So do they have like a fireworks thing at, say, 10 o'clock for the kids, and then a midnight one, or is it just all...
So they actually didn't have a midnight one. It was just a 9:45,
which
okay. We were stoked about. Like, so much better for the families.
100%.
So it's packed. Like, it is packed. Now, the first mud gudgeon is my young bloke goes, well, I need to go to the toilet, Dad. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And the little girl's like, I need to go to the toilet. 40 minutes to line up for the pisser.
Oh.
Anyway, another little mud gudgeon. So there's 2 toilets and there's 2 lines, Anyway, old love next to me, she's about to go in, right? And old love opens a door, and this full tripper just like face palms are out of the way and just runs into the toilet.
Wow.
Anyway, he comes out and he like starts apologise, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, and like everyone's giving him a spray. And old mate's like, I was about to shit me pants. I was like, yeah, fair play. But another little funny yarn off the back of that. Well, I remember, we're all lined up, and there'd be like a family of 3 or 4. And, you're just observing. You're sitting there, nothing better to do. You're just watching everyone.
Yeah.
And like a husband and wife and the 2 kids are going together. It makes sense. They're trying to help the queue out. Well, there was 12 young ladies went in at once. And they were in there for about 4 minutes. And let me tell you, yes, they had. They definitely weren't in there having a wee. And literally, I'm thinking that in my head, just laughing at myself. And no word of a lie, they walk past, and old love just looks at me and gives her nose a big old rub. I was like, good on you, girls. But
Powerpuff Girls.
So we went down there and we've had a great time and watched the fireworks. We hung around, everyone pissed off. We jumped on the tram and headed back to where we're staying at the Mercure.
Yep.
And it was just me, wife, and the 2 kids at this point. And we had like the beach bag on our shoulder, like the food platter under our arm, the little esky, like family night out. What you carry for kids.
Yep.
And we're walking along and we're coming back to our hotel. I'm like, holy shit, there's some people on this footpath. Anyway, I didn't sort of think nothing of it. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of young people here. I'm like, I guess it's New Year's Eve. It's what you do. And like the queue had got, like, everyone had kind of stopped in front of us. So we're just like standing there, like trying to get a break to like go around these people. And we're standing there and people are like looking at us, and there's like 100 people in front of us all over the footpath, and there's like a queue and people up behind us, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I stick my head out. We're in the lineup for the nightclub.
Oh,
because we were just walking down the footpath, and I said, we best be crossing the road. But I was thinking afterwards, I was laying in bed there that night, and I was like, you know what, that would have made someone's day.
Yeah.
Driving past and just go and check out that family. They're in the queue for the nightclub.
Check out the nightclub. What a family experience.
But I must say, yeah, exactly. But I must say, like, everyone was super well behaved there. Like, it was a great event. And you know what? It was so good as like we're older now. So good to watch young fellas having a fat time. There was these two blokes, and this. I'm great with Yana now. I forgot all these. It's flowing now.
Yeah. It's all coming back.
So before we were in the nightclub line, we're going along there, and there's these two young blokes. They're probably like 19, and they're just darting down the street, and one of them's going like an Indian.
Yeah.
And we just had some churros. As you do. And we just had some churros up at the carnival thing. And I said to me young bloke, I was like, oh, geez, mate, that fella's had a few too many churros. And he just looked up at me and he digs me in the ribs and goes, I think he's had too many rum cans, Dad.
It wasn't doing the old, last action.
But like, how good was it? Was just good to see everyone having a great time. Yeah. And off the back of having a good time, put the kids to bed. Now I'm laying there and I'm watching the time and I'm like, oh, it's nearly like getting towards midnight. I might as well just stay up, see the new year in. And we had some apartment blocks behind us, and I hear some music cranking up. So I've like peeked out the blinds, and here's about, 10, 15 Sheilas and the same amount of blokes, and they are just having
a good time.
The time of their lives on their balcony, and they're pumping, the fist pumping there, and I'm like, how good's this? You know, like house parties are back. So but yeah, that was a bit of a fun
house
one.
Parties are back because of cost of living. You can't go out and drink $7, $8 schooners.
Well, that was going to be a mud guzzing in a minute, but let's
righto, I'll get away from that.
Let's bring that up now.
Oh, we're going to bring it up now, righto.
$16 for a schooner of beer.
No,
that is. I like. I'm not. You're a bit like me. Like, if you want to go and have a night on the cans, you go and have a night on the cans.
Does it put lipstick on first before you inhale it, or what?
Mate, I'm telling you, like that is ridiculous, you know. And I guess a bit of a serious one. It does come back to this cost of living. Like, you can't go out now and have a feed and half a dozen beers with your family because you've just busted a couple $100. So. Shout out, we need to cut this tax bull crap.
Yes.
On the beer. Unfortunately, for some of us, the only enjoyment we do have to relax at the end of the day is a nice beer.
Yeah, that's right.
And for those that might not want to drink at home by themselves and like going down to the pub, old Jimmy might go down to the pub to chat to his mates. He shouldn't have to be paying $16 for a schooner of beer.
Now, there's one thing I'll always say this, and I always drink mid-strength. Even when I go to the pub, I'll get a schooner mid-strength. But there's nothing like getting a Tooheys New straight out of the schooner glass.
Yeah.
Straight out of the schooner glass.
Yeah.
So it's gold, but new. So, but yeah, no, I totally agree. Like this whole tax and where all this stuff's going, it's an interesting thing, and it makes me sort of wonder about the insurance and the health, you know, like I think I'll bring it back to ciggies, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, everyone got crook, everyone's getting the cancer and shit, and then, you know, the health system's this and that, and we need to do this, we need to tax more to deal with it. I'm probably going to say that they're probably having the same issues of drinking, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess the point is, right, there's a difference from writing yourself off to having a few.
Yeah.
And I think honestly people now are a lot more better for it. The only thing that worries me now, I think there's just probably more drugs and shit going around. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah, 100%. And just keep in mind too, like if you do go out for a night out and you're just at your pub and you're paying $12 a schooner, don't take it out on the poor bastard behind the counter either, because they're motivated to make a dollar, and that's coming from someone that runs their own business and is working retail.
Yep.
They got to make their dollar. They're not just jacking the price up. It's coming on their end too. They've got to cover it. So, but yeah, move along there, mate.
Yeah, righto. So, New Year's for me, it was somewhat quiet. Just hanging out with a mate, Jazz, up at Evans. We drank bulk cans, and we didn't really leave his house other to go down to the beach and watch some fireworks take off. I didn't do that.
Well, that's an interesting point. We'll bring that up.
I'll bring that up. Righto. Anyhow, yeah, that was really about it. It was very, very, very low key.
So P2 has done some investigation.
Oh, good.
So I'm not going to give too much away.
You look a bit like Colombo.
But it could be around this area for next New Year's. We may be local, kind of.
Right.
Peter's looked into getting his legitimate fireworks license.
Oh, God. What
and
could
I've
go
looked
wrong
into
there?
it. So, shout out. If we can get a group of people together that want to see some fully sick fireworks, we can get a couple of grand or even more together.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone chucks in.
Mm-hmm.
Old Peter will get his not his firearms license, his fireworks license. Already got that one. He'll get his fireworks license, and we'll have a fat time.
Yeah,
I was only
righto.
chatting to my wife about it the other day. I looked into it, and it's like $600-700 or some shit. But who cares? I'm like, it'll be worth it. Do it legally. Get a heap of people down on the beach and have a fat time.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know what? Like, it was so good this year. I knew that the fireworks weren't on, like in Newcastle at midnight, but the amount of fireworks that went off at midnight is so good.
Yeah, that's right. You know, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
you just hear them just going off everywhere. Which
Over
is,
here, Adamstown, there's a little couple, and over here at Stockton, a few guys. So good on them, yeah.
No, we liked it down there. Someone let them off probably about 5 minutes beforehand, and then some people let them off all the way through to probably about 6 o'clock that morning.
Good on them. And you know, that's the thing, like, yeah, we're old. Well, not old, but we're getting a bit longer in the tooth than a lot of the people out there that are having a good time.
Yeah.
You got kids, you know, and I was laying there, and I don't think I fell asleep till like 2:30 because the music was thumping. And was I angry? Absolutely not.
No, of course
It's
not.
New Year's Eve, and rewind 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That would have been us there.
Yeah, no, 100%. So,
but yeah, move along from New Year's, mate. What else?
yeah,
has
all
happened?
right. So, so from there, I pretty much just been running around the river, testing the boat out, catching a few fish.
Catching some red, angry. cats.
Yeah. My biggest disappointment, I've dropped 2 big flathead, and I'm absolutely angry. I'm angry about it. So,
That's not good.
the first one carried on like a barramundi and spat the hook, and the second one just sheared me line. But I'm starting to think that maybe I should have checked my leader. So I think it's sheared a bit too easy for my liking. But but other than that, got a nice jack there. Brimmer are plentiful down there. Like you just get sick of catching them. But one of our listeners actually, after I put up a story, I forget his name there, but he's a local down at
Yes, I
Clarence.
did see this.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Getting stuck into the fish on the bridge.
Oh,
Oh no, you can't.
okay. I don't know. He could have. I don't know. But long story short, he sort of said, "Oh, you went to there." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, I'll just go up here a bit further and give it a crack." And I said, "Oh, I might do that. I'll just wait for the tide. The tide will be a little bit better. I might try and sneak out Friday after work." So we'll give it a bit of a crack. But
I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was the gentleman that won the best yarn at the Brushy, episode 25.
Oh, that dude.
The top fella.
Yeah.
So I was actually watching a bit.
I don't think it was him.
No, but I was watching a bit of content the other night. Sorry, legend, I can't think of your name off the top of my head, but
still a banging yarn, man. We'll never forget that.
Shout out to you. I was watching a bit of content there the other night. Some fella does a bit of YouTube, and you popped up on his channel with a big meter or Dewey and a huge 70-odd plus centimetre flathead off the bridge there at Yamba. So
I did.
No, a listener.
Oh.
So he was in the back of this guy's YouTube video.
Oh,
and the YouTube guy called him over, and I was like, I know that fella. So shout out to you, legend. I know you'll be listening to that. And there was some cracking fish there. So great to see our listeners have been getting stuck right in.
Yeah. No, I think it's been a really good summer down there. I was talking to a couple of guys there, and I won't say too much, but apparently there's a fish that was caught that generally stays out at sea that was in the river. So so
very nice.
Won't go too much into that. I don't want to break people's ideas or dreams, but
well, and I actually had this written down. Like, what a stunning weather period we have had. Like, given the afternoon winds, pretty typical this time of year.
Yeah.
Like, the last couple of weeks, you could practically go to sea any day you want. It's been spectacular. So it's really, really good to see.
I'll say though, next week the weather will be shit because I'm going camping.
And it is. It's blowing up on the weekend. It's garbage.
Fucking hell.
But move along there, mate. What else?
Yeah, right. So look, we'll just I know we've sort of just gone a bit ad hoc tonight, but I thought I'd just go a little bit around the grounds. We might just break that in now for the hell of it. So look, just wanted to touch base about a lot of our Barra talks that we've had, in the last couple of episodes. Well, the GOAT himself, Mr. Wheeler's put a lot of stuff out on YouTube of his experiences with the ABT tournaments here over.
I even got a
recently.
mention.
Yes, you did.
I did. I was pretty chuffed with that.
What was the mention again? You made a trophy, didn't you?
When Morgo handed over the trophy.
Yes, it was a trophy.
And he said, now you've got one of Joey Urquhart's specialties.
Yeah. So
over the when Gussie shared up a photo, it was sitting next to his classic one.
Nice.
And I tagged him and I said, mate, that's and that's the second one of his trophies he's got me because
did you say that classic one looks rubbish?
So Carl actually got me when we flew to the classic. He actually got me to make up like a memorable sort of trophy.
For Gussie.
I remember so this, it's on his shelf as well. So it's pretty special. Yeah.
No, it's really good, and it's really good that you do that for ABT. So,
I've actually got that written down in the around the grounds. I literally pretty well started them today. For next year, got 56 of the little suckers.
56, righto. I'm going to try and get a name on one of them at some stage over the next 20 years, but anyhow.
All my vinyl has turned up. I'm cutting the acrylic as we speak for all the backers. My timber's there. I got like over $1,000 worth of timber sitting on the shed floor. We only use the best materials, I said to Morgo,
cut pop sticks.
Oh, yeah. Anything for Morgo. No, and I said to him, I said, we can drop the cost. And he said, no. He said, I don't mind what it costs. He said, I'd rather have that nice hardwood, Australian hardwood there. So, yeah.
I think the anglers appreciate it too. Like, that's the biggest thing.
They're going to look pretty smick this year. I've changed a few things this year. Nicole's changed the design of them a little bit with the decals and the timber. I'm going away from the clear coat.
Okay.
Clear coat often it shows all the imperfections in the timber, and it bubbles and it causes a lot of drama. So this year I'm going to sand back to like 280, 320, something like that, and we're just going to go to good old tung oil. Bit more work than clearing because it's soaking it in, drying, soaking it in, sanding. There is a lot more work in it, but the tung oil, it smells nice when it's in someone's house. It's got that nice smell to it. It's not that potent chemical smell. So a few little changes coming there, but I'm sure if you're lucky enough to win one this year, you'll love it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you're listening, that's what the trophy's going to be this year. But look, off the back of that, the Brim one is in Victoria. It's coming up in February, so it's not too far away. So East Skippy, then Malakuta. I'm going to try and get down to this. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm managing. But I'll just put the shout out now. If there's anyone that's looking for someone to share any accommodation or anything, maybe just give me a yell, because whilst I'm happy to put my jigger on and just do it all myself, I found last time when I was at East Malakuta's fine because it's a great caravan park, but I found it with East Skiplands or the Great Lakes, whatever you want to call it, it's very hard to find a good caravan park or something nearby where they try and run it out of Metung. So, look, hopefully there's some Mexicans listening, but if there's anyone that can point me in the right direction there, I'm definitely all ears. Shout us a message at the Two Pelicans podcast at gmail.com. Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, you know.
It's been a few weeks, okay.
While we're on the tournament front, mate, put you on the spot here a little bit. Have we heard any more about MLF with the bass scene? I sort of haven't really been on my phone a lot.
I've seen a little bit, and there's been some questions raised about, I think the good thing about Steve, he said, look, we're going to put the entry lists up. I think it's going to be tomorrow. Well, by the time you listen to this, it'll already be up. So, where I think someone asked the same sort of question around MLF, you're going to put the teams up and all that kind of stuff. And I hadn't heard too much about it, but it's changed. The price has come down a bit. I think it's like $480 now.
So is it till the bass? Is it still going to be teams?
Yeah, I think. Let's just get onto my super fast Optus network connection here. I love you, Optus. If there's another good telephone company other than Telstra and Optus, let me know. In the country, probably not.
Nah, Telstra's useless. I live 3 minutes from town and get a zero service. Apparently, we're in a black spot, and I'm like, I don't know. The whole New South Wales seems like a black spot.
Yeah.
Geez, my fingers are moving quick there, Michael.
The fingers are moving quick, but not much is happening, mate.
He's up at here. Mate, I think while you look at that, we're just going to maybe hear a little little friendly ad here from our friends.
Let's do that.
Over at Diver.
Hey, P2.
Hey, mate, what's up?
Mate, now that I've got this boat here and I've got the electronics on the way, I'm going to need some fishing gear.
Mate, you can't look flash in that new rig without some new fancy fishing gear.
I know.
Mate, I can only recommend one thing. I would head over to the Dyer Australia website, mate, and make yourself a little bit of a wish list and then head into your local tackle store and see if those legends can get it in. Because if there's one thing I know, mate, Dyer Australia, they have it all. Whether you want a brand new rod, a nice new shiny reel, or some new line to go on it, then you're going to need some tackle, of course. They have it all. Dyer Australia is your one-stop shop, and the big supporters here, Two Pelicans Podcast. And we are back, and Michael is still trying.
Look, we're just still I'm going good at it. So yeah, look,
something burning. Does it smell very burning?
Is my car burning out the front?
Well, with the go-ons here in town the last couple of nights, it wouldn't surprise me.
Oh yeah.
No, we're good. There's no flames. We're good. Carry on.
Yeah, so it looks like the first one for that is a Brim one, Lake Macquarie. I think I got that right. 8th and 9th of March. 480 per team of 2 anglers.
Can we see if that's for the bass as well, mate?
Yeah, okay. Let's just do that. Let me just use my super technology skills that I have here.
I'd love to see the bass singles.
So we'll just go to Glenbourne.
Yeah.
So 5th, 6th, 480 per team, 2 anglers.
Yeah,
so
okay.
they're keeping it the same sort of format by the looks of that. But anyhow, the price has come down, which is good. I think that might.
So it'll be interesting to see whether they're going to offer the same sort of things as they did last year for the bass as well as the Brim for the prizes. Can we ever got that technology?
Oh, mate, I don't know. Could be the Da Vinci Code, but look, we might do some research for that on our.
Yeah,
we'll
let's
talk
do
about
that
our
for
next
the next
one.
episode. Yeah,
but I think he, how I look at it is okay. We'll strip it back. We'll always have segregated this from ABT, but it's a teams event, and it's a 2-day teams event. So you think about the Gamakatsu days, the bets. I think the bets end up being 250, 275, right, for 1 day.
Yeah.
So it's 2 days of 480.
They're probably about being on.
It's reasonable.
Yeah.
In my mind, that's reasonable for a 2-man team.
Yeah, it's only 240 a person. I think that's fair.
Yep. So I think they've done the right thing there. I'm sure everyone would love to win as much money as they could, but it just brings it back. I think, what was it last year? Like 700 or something, wasn't it? Yeah. So, I think it's a lot more achievable for them anglers. And look, they've really targeted areas where people love to go fishing. Hawkesbury, Glenbourne, all these sorts of places they've targeted. So hopefully their season goes just as well.
Wish them all the best. And it's interesting to see after only like a couple of events they've already reneged on some things and gone back. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward what happens there.
Yeah. Look, it's something I know that obviously the ABT calendar sits really good in my mind, but it's definitely one that I'd like to go do with someone.
Yeah.
That So once again, if there's someone that's keen, let me know.
I'm definitely going to do that bass one here on the river.
Righto.
I'm definitely going to do that. I'll probably need a wingman for that one.
Yeah. Do you want a bass angler or you just want a wingman?
Maybe just have a wingman.
Well, I'm probably your man. But
I can catch too, so you can be the wingman. You can cook us brekkie and stuff on the boat.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm pretty good at that.
But I think that's probably about all I had for around the grounds, mate.
We'll probably bring it into news. We're going to do some news, or around the ground is the news.
Yeah, just whatever, hit it.
Righto. Well, I rubbish the Australian test team there before we went on our little break, and whilst I don't think they fully listened to me, they made some changes, which was good. Now, what I'm going to say is the Sri Lanka tour's coming up, and they've put another couple of young faces in there, but I think they realised that most of the Australian team, especially in the batting department, they're getting a bit on, right?
Yeah.
And look, the results this summer sort of reflects that one or two people just have to go.
Yep, got to go. Bus change, go on.
Bus change, sorry, mate. You're a good bloke, but you got to go. So anyhow, they're about to blunt in some young fellas there. Look, Smithy definitely redeemed himself.
The young guy had a great debut there, may I add.
Conscious. Once again, he will find his way. He's young and he's still working on his craft.
Yeah.
But
caused a bit of controversy as
well. Caused a bit of controversy, but you know what? You, as a young fella, you don't take a backward step.
No.
It was quite ironic that Coley is his favourite player, and that's who he sort of had the sort of half. No, well, I don't think he had too much to do with it originally, but anyhow, that was sort of played out on the TV. But what it did, it brought everyone back watching Test cricket, which was absolutely amazing, and hopefully we get to see that over the years to come. So, but once again, Australia need to keep bringing in young players. Now, do you need a wobbly chook? We're drinking wobbly chooks tonight.
Wobbly chooks. I love another ginger beer.
Yeah, so I'm drinking the good old Mother Clucker Mid.
And I'm on the gingeries.
Yeah, you're on the ginger beeries.
The 4%. Yeah, grab us one, mate, and I'll dribble here for a little bit. Yep. But yeah, on the cricket front that Mick was just chatting about there, I just saw this last night. I think it was on the Big Bash, and I thought it was worthy to chat about. No, none of these people's names, but how cool is this? Young fella comes into bowl and gets absolutely destroyed over the boundary for 6, and it's caught in the crowd. It's been caught, and it came to light that the gentleman that caught the catch was the guy that bowled its father, which I thought was pretty bloody ironic and pretty damn cool. I don't know what the odds would be there, Mick, on that happening, but I don't know how many people go to a Big Bash.
What was that?
The young guy that bowled in Big Bash last night or the night before and got pounded over the boundary for 6, and the guy that caught it in the crowd was his dad.
What?
Yeah. Unbelievable. There was total scenes. So
wow.
Yeah. He was kind of not happy that his son just got hit for 6, but he caught his son's delivery. Well, I thought it was pretty cool. But now, while tonight's show's all over the show, we're going to keep the theme. Now, on the back of cricket, we've had a yarn come in.
Righto.
In December. This come back in on the 11th of December, the day after we did our last recording.
Yeah, righto.
Now, I've listened to this.
Oh, right, okay. I haven't.
This is why I'm playing it.
Righto.
Because it's cricket related. Now, let's hit this.
Okay.
We're going to get some technology here. Here we go.
Pelicans. How are you, fellas? Ginger Ninja here.
Hey.
In the Murrumbidgee. Just ringing up for my mud gudgeon of the week. This week goes out to none other than P1 Mick for his absolutely disgusting tip of the Indians in the cricket with Adelaide, saying they'd get absolutely pumped. Turns out the Aussies shit in and won in 3 days. So yeah, he's a real good judge. Really, when I heard him tip the Indians, I nearly bloody spat out my wobbly chook across the room. Very, very unpatriotic. Time to sell your barbecue, mate. Trade in your thongs and get some butter chicken and some I thought you were a bit of me and being the captain coach of the 2012 Brushy third grade team, but apparently not. Hope you don't do any horse tips, mate, because fair dinkum, you couldn't tip a bucket of water. Anyway, that's my mud gudgeon. Keep keeping on, boys. Squidgy out. You.
Good on you, Ginger.
The big fella.
Now, he's probably right there. I try and stay away from betting on horses because I'm absolutely rubbish. And you know what? I'll wear that, but I still am sticking to the point that we got to get all the grandparents out of the Australian cricket team. So
100%, mate. 100%.
But no, thanks, old Ginger Ninja for that one.
I knew he'd be good for one.
Actually, I've got a quick story there. I've seen him run someone out there one day over in night cricket there in Grafton, and pretty much the guy ran out, nearly took his head off. So if anyone has ever met the Ginger Ninja, he's definitely not able like a ninja, that's for sure. He's pretty lazy and needs a walking stick. So yeah,
mate, I've just jumped on here. If you'd like to have a quick watch of what we're just talking about.
Oh yeah, cool.
Let's just have a quick little watch.
My special.
Oh, we've got a bit of an ad. Turn them down.
Look.
We don't condone ads here at the Two Pelicans. If you're not paying us, here we go.
We'll give you.
Cricket fans, you won't believe what just happened in the BBL. During a Big Bash League match, Adelaide Strikers bowler Liam Haskell was hit for 6 by Brisbane Heat's Nathan McSweeney.
That's garbage. That's not the one we want. Carry on there, mate. I'll find a good one here. Here we go. No, that's not it. You carry on.
No, all right.
Here we go. No, we got him.
We got him.
We got him. Here we go.
பவுலிங் பண்ணா அப்பா கேட்ச் பிடிச்சா நல்லா தானே இருக்கும் உள்ளூர் கிரிக்கெட்ல ஈஸியா
What the
நடக்கும்
fuck?
All right.
You want some tandoori with that or what?
Okay, we need an Australian. Far out. We're not having a good go here, are we? Right. This is all like Indian news channels. You just carry on.
I was just about to say you got to stop watching the Indian stuff, mate.
I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, you carry on, mate.
Yeah. So anyhow, look. I guess over that time we had a few nights. Then at Woody had our night with Woody Head. Caught up with a few guys. So who we got there? Mr. Bumpy, Jazz, a few other guys, Tup, Ez, and we just. Once again, just caught up and had a few, and that's where I'm heading. So that's where I'm going to go next week. They're down there for a very, very long time. I don't know how they get that much time off, but anyhow. And
you're too rich. One of them blokes is the richest man in the casino.
And so anyhow, long story short, we're going to go down there and have a week there. May or may not take the boat. It's we've got a pretty tight site, so
I'm sure there'll be plenty of boats there. Mate.
Oh, there will be, but I still would like to keep working on just the little integral things about dialing in boats, right? So they'll probably just roll into this as a bit of a mud gudgeon. So the concept that I've got with the boat is that I didn't want any gauges.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't want any gauges. The Garmin sounder pretty much reads most things. However, you need to buy another component to read the fuel.
Yeah.
Okay, and I haven't done it yet. It's a little bit exy, but talking to the guys, they sort of said, "Oh, when you fill up, just reset your usage."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, righto, I'll do that." Filled it up. I definitely didn't do it. So on Sunday, I went for a bit of just wanted to get out of the house. We had had old Lenny over for a few cans there Saturday night, and wasn't going to go in the morning. It was sort of raining on and on. And I don't know. And then I thought, we'll get on the water this afternoon. So I get on the water and shoot up to Broadwater and just fish a little bit around there. And I was heading back, and I ran out of petrol. So I'm the mud gudgeon for not really thinking about it. But look, it was all good, bloody. Sister-in-law, she had a bit of petrol lying around. She just jumped over the ferry, and she's in Lawrence. So
how good?
Yeah. Wife blew up at me because she was cooking tea. I can't leave. I'm cooking tea. I'm like, yeah, righto. But the good news was I didn't go empty-handed. I actually decided just to pack a couple of little wobbly chooks. And I sat there and had a couple of wobbly chooks while I waited for the petrol to turn up. I was parked up on someone's jetty along the side there, So
a disaster turned into quite a nice afternoon.
Oh, you just a bit of live and learn, have a bit of a chuckle about it. But if you were going to go out to sea, or if I was going to go down somewhere a lot further, I definitely would have filled up. But I just said, no, I should be right.
She'll be right. Right, I found him here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the proper BBL one. Let's have a go here. You'll love this.
Have that all the way into the members. Another catch. They are in exquisite touch in the crowd here today. But that is...
ball a bit back of a length, and Sweeney was ready for it. And what a shot. What a catch.
Yeah, good catch. Young man on debut. He charged
on debut.
Yeah.
And it was a lovely pick-up stroke. Powerful blow. Seen some great crowd catching today. Look at that. High, hands extended, gets it, throws it back. That man there is Liam Haskett's dad.
No way.
Lloyd Haskett played it very cool. We thought he was just a cool
customer,
but
son.
He was so disappointed that his son on debut had just been dispatched. And he caught the catch.
That's got to be the first time ever.
You won't be disappointed here. So for those that wonder what we're laughing at there, I think his wife was utterly disappointed that he'd caught his son's ball after he'd been pounded, and the dad put his hand up on her shoulder, and she quite swiftly removed that.
Not receptive to that.
So head over and just type in "Dad catches son's ball, Big Bash." You'll have a bit of a giggle.
Is that
there.
the definition of the cold shoulder?
I think so. Yeah, I giggled at that end bit. She's a laugh. But mate, before we move on, I've got a bit more of what I've been around. What I've been up to.
Let's hear what you've been up to.
So headed away on the weekend. Wow. What a time. Didn't take a lot of beers because we were shooting and there was a bit of hunting involved, so it wasn't really the time and place. Had a few beers back at camp, but didn't take a lot of beers, but had a fat time. It was my first time I'd sort of taken the young bloke on one of them adventures. There was 3 blokes with our 3 sons and our tour guide, we'll call him Big Purse, Big Percival, and took us out to a property and we won't mention any names, but you know who you are. Shout out to you for letting us on there, mate. Is
he a listener?
I doubt it.
We'll convert those people.
When you've got 16,000 acres to look after, I don't think you've got time for podcast. But no, had a great time out there. Was lucky enough to take a deer on Friday night. That was a bit of one of the points behind the whole trip. I wanted to show my son, not having sort of ever done that hey, we can select, shoot, take, bone, fillet, clean, whatever you want to call it, the deer, not fillet the deer, but bone out the deer. I've processed that deer since at home, boned out the leg and got me roasts and some chuck steak, chuck deer, I should say, off it. But had a really, really good time. I want to talk about something with that shooting of that deer in a minute. We'll go back to that. But the fishing, I'm not going to go into numbers of fish, but I'm just going to tell the listeners that we caught many, many, many cod. And it did not matter what you threw at the cod.
They're happy to eat.
They just ate it. The jollops, obviously, I basically exclusively threw them, and I still caught enough fish. I was happy. I definitely didn't catch as many as the boys just throwing spinnerbaits. But I've caught enough cod. I'd rather catch them on mine. A bit of a standout fish was I finally caught a cod on my big 200mm roof rat. And it's big. Like it's a big 200mm. So I was stoked to get like an 80 on that. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
It was a great fish. Now, while I won't mention numbers, we fished Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and that was basically it. So sort of 3 sessions. On Saturday afternoon alone, we landed 45 cod.
Wow.
In about an hour and a half. So it's safe to say we caught many, many fish. But no, it was a great time. Had by all, and it was, we did some. We bought a box of clays and a box of a carton of shells for the shotties, and the boys had their earmuffs on, sitting back on a picnic table there watching us, and they loved every minute of it. It was just a really good, back to basics sort of weekend, and there was no time frames. You had dinner when you were hungry, and I think the one night the boys fell asleep spotlighting at about 10:30 in the back of the car. But you go, mate.
No, I was just going to say, what was obviously I don't need to know the stream, but was there much water out there? Because we've had a real interesting summer in the fact that I know down our way we had a lot of rain, probably by through to the end of November, and it slowed up. Then it became quite dry, and then for us down that way, we've missed a lot of the rain. I don't know if you guys have had a lot of that rain in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, we've missed a lot down our way, and we're only, as a crow flies, we're only probably 80 k's away from each other. So it's really interesting that we've sort of missed it. So the stream was not dry at all. It was quite flowing.
The area where we were is being quite lucky. Like it's not west sort of thing. And as a crow fly, it's really not that far from us. And the river had quite a nice flow in it. Although the holes are quite weedy, it just needs that big blowout.
Just a push.
It's really flowing nice. The paddocks are green. Oh man, the kangaroos. They're a serious problem out there, hey. And you can see why there's a lot of hatred from the farmers towards them, we rolled into a one paddock there, and I'll talk about it in a minute, but there was probably 500-600 roos just sitting in this paddock, one little paddock. But yeah, we'll skip back to the deer. I'm only bringing this up because it's very relatable for a topic that's pretty close to our hearts and probably our listeners' hearts, and it's the live scope.
Okay,
We know the whole live scope debate, blah, blah. In the hunting world, the live scope equivalent is your thermal. For those that don't know what thermal, it's practically setups you can have that you just see daylight.
I've got a funny story about the thermal, but keep going.
Through the scope. So this setup was quite an extensive setup. It was upwards of $10,000 setup.
Yep.
He had the thermal little camera on the spotlight out the window, which come back to the iPad in the middle, so everyone in the car could see.
Yep.
And then I could see through my scope, just the picture, and it come up on the iPad where I was pointing.
Yeah, how good.
Which is for the kids, man. The kids are all in the car with their earmuffs. It's really interesting. And I can tell you that if I had my own property and I do a lot more hunting than I do now, I would 100% be buying it.
Yes.
And that's crazy considering I'm like fully anti sort of live scope.
Mm-hmm.
What I can tell you about it is you it's almost like spearfishing. You can take what you want.
Yeah.
Like with the thermal, you're not just flashing a spotlight past. You're physically sitting there in absolute darkness, shining this around, and you go, nah, that's a spiker, or that's a doe, or this is a bit of a better looking deer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're taking them for meat and you're shooting in the pitch black, it's very accurate.
Yeah.
I have a little funny story off the back of it. We come past the first ones, and I'd had a few shots just into a stump. He said, have a few siders, because I'd never shot his rifles. Just a 223. Had a few shots into the stump, which was good, just to feel the trigger and everything.
Yeah.
And so we roll around, and the first deer we see goes, oh, there's a deer. And he just like flashed the spotty on for a second to show me where it was. But I sort of didn't gauge how far it was. Now, this is very relatable. Back to live scope.
Yep.
You think that it just jumps fish in your boat, but you need to learn it. And the thermal is exactly the same. So I look through the scope, and it looks like this deer's about 120 yards away. So I let a shot rip, and I missed it. I've totally blown over its head. I've shot high.
Yep.
And he flashed the light, and he's like, dude, that was like 40 meters out. And I'm like, yeah, wow. So instant like learning curve, you know.
Yeah.
So we roll around a bit further, and he finds another one, and no lie, it is in the middle of like 150 head of cattle, this deer. And I'm like, absolutely not. He's like, no, you'll be right. And with that thermal, you could clearly see where all the cattle were, and the deer was a bit separate, but he was unreal. Yet again, shot high because he was too close, and he started darting off, and he probably
just got the cow in the background.
Yeah. no cows were harmed in that. And anyway, he took off, and he sort of slowed down a little bit, and I dropped him on the run at probably best part of 180, just through the shoulder, and was really stoked to take that deer. It was a beautiful deer. Shout out to Big W, you know who you are. He boned the big sucker out for me. It's sort of up his line of work.
Yeah.
He gutted him. We hung him overnight in the cool room. Next day we come back and knocked the legs, the back straps, all that stuff out of him, and I just sort of brought the lumps of meat home and dealt with that from there at home. But really, really interesting to see that thermal in action, man. Like if you're a professional roo shooter or something like that, it is game changer. Absolutely game changer. And may I add, it is safe.
Yes.
Like, you don't shoot anything that you're not supposed to shoot, because you can see it all. Like,
it's clear as day.
For those that have never spotlighted, if you spotlight out 100 yards onto a boar or a sow or a deer, that's about all you see. You can't see the 300-400 meters behind it. With the thermal, you can see exactly what's behind it. And that brings me into when we rolled into this paddock. He rolled the thermal through this paddock, and there was literally 500 or 600 roos just sitting in this. Just these black dots everywhere. So, unreal piece of kit. But hit us with your funny yarn.
No, well, just talking about thermal. So I think most people are aware it really picks up the heat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, experiment one day. I was with the COVID crew, the lads. They're massive hunters. They've got thermals, they've got buggies, they've got all the gear, right? They've got everything. So, anyhow, we're mucking around in Lenny's workshop there one day, and they pulled out the thermal, and I actually had gout. So, anyhow, we put the thermal where the gout was, and you can actually see the heat intensity on gout.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you can sort of pick up, I guess, heat sensors of a person or whatever. It's next level technology.
Now, I'm in a position where, like, if I can get on a bit more land, and I can do a bit more night shooting. I've always hunted. For those that know, I've grown up a bit of a wild dog hunter, rabbit hunter back in the day, and sort of move towns, move away, and you sort of lose access to that sort of stuff. But now I'm in a position where I can get back into it. let me tell you, if I do get thermal, I'll be getting both, not only the scope, but I will be getting the one for the spotlight. Now, hear me out here.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone's done this yet, but everyone roars around Lake Mondi with their big fuck-off spotlight on the front. Could you imagine mounting that thermal? And I'm sure there would be a way to get that onto your sounder screen. If not, just link it to your iPad. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Just driving around, watching your thermal. It would be... And the thing is, I know live scope, some people say it's cheating or whatever, blah, blah, but this is actually about safety. With the thermal thing, a lot of the pluses are for safety reasons. So, I don't know. Shout out, let us know if you do have thermal
on your boat.
Because
that's next level.
If I get it, I will be having a bracket to put on my boat because I think, imagine crossing the bar in the dark with thermal. And this isn't to catch more fish or whatever. This is pure and simply
making sure there's nothing in front
safety. Say, hey, I want to run out to the FAD this morning. I want to be there at daybreak, but there's a bit of a swell on the bar. Bang the thermal up on the sounder or the iPad. Watch all the waves. I'm assuming waves will show up on thermal. I'm assuming it all will.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, because it's sort of off heat. You'll probably see something in the background, but it's a heat thing.
See, not only we could see the animals, but it was just like daylight.
Yeah. It shows everything else, but that's what it's merely like looking for the heat. That's where you get
and to show the shadowing off the trees.
Shadowing,
so I'm sure it'd still work, but and you'd obviously see other boats with the thermal.
I think that's the bigger thing. Like, if you're hammering along at night time, you'll still see the heat in the motor still. The heat will stay in the motor for friggin' hours.
And look, as we get old, I'm all about safety. I'm all about safety.
Yeah, my eyesight's not real good.
And hey, it's a good excuse.
You're wearing glasses.
Yeah, it's a good excuse to get 10 grand's worth of... Should we tell...
I can't wait for you to go home to your bride and go, I've been thinking safety first. We're going to have to get this thermal. It's like 10 grand, but you know what? It'll be a lot more safer for everyone involved.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'll sell it. You've just reminded me of a funny yarn talking about it. And I'm the mud gauge here. So we get home from Newcastle. We hadn't been at home for a week. And we pull up in the backyard and I start unloading stuff, and there's like kids' boogie boards and stuff. And we keep them in the front shed near a deck. So I start beaming across the deck. I'm like, fuck. I could have swore something just bit me then. Anyway, I come back to the car and I got a big bite in my leg. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Anyway, I get another load of stuff and I dart across the deck again. And no kidding, about 20 wasps just swarm me, biting me from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet.
Yeah, right.
So in a mad panic, I'm like yelling out, get the kids inside, get the kids inside. And I'm flipping it and I've grabbed my hat to flip them, and my fucking prescription glasses have steaming off.
Oh dear!
And snapped the frame, not the lens this time, just the frame. So we're on to the third patch-up job. We've done a bit of a plastic solder there, but let me tell you, when you wear glasses, and I rely on those a lot because I'm outdoors a lot, it's hard when you don't have prescription sunglasses. I've gone back to an old pair of Costas, and I'm struggling big time.
Yeah, it's no good.
Anyway,
hey, I was just we might just bring up the other mud gudgeon that I had, and look, I touched on one there tonight around the boat ramp de-rigging sort of thing. So, last episode before we went away, I said, I'm pretty sure I said this to the listeners. I said, make sure you de-rig all your boat and all that before you back it down. Well, Disco Dave and I went for a quick run out to sea just to test the boat out. But that weekend that we did that. And here's this guy. Now, I expected from like an old fella, but this guy was like 30, right? And what happened was he got right down to the boat ramp. He didn't take up all of it, which was good, but he was there and he took it right down and he had to de-rig, take all his stuff out, or, unhook everything, get the motor on, all the rest of it. And then he proceeds to go back into the car and pull out all his fishing gear, then an esky, and then other things. And his wife sat in the car. Anyhow, so he's taken the car. He's jumped in the boat and driven it off the trailer, right? And the wife's come around, or the bride's come around, or missus, or whatever.
Yeah,
has come and sat in the driver's seat. And I'm thinking, okay, that's great. She's going to move it. No, she doesn't move it. She does not move it. She sits there and waits for him to tie it up. She could have went down there and helped him tie it up, but she sat in the driver's seat. And so then to come all the way down, picked up. Oh, sorry, she's come all the way down to the boat. Sorry, he's come all the way up to the car. Then she's gone back down to the boat, and Dave's like looking at me, going, "Are they fucking serious?" And I'm like, man, don't say anything. Like, you know, it's one of these things now. You know, I think if I was in a rogue tinny with no names or sponsors on it, I'd probably say something.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to do that now. But
I'm just
like, oh my god! And the dude was 30, man. Like, surely they know better, or is this the new generation?
I guess if you've never been around it or you've never been taught it, but you'd think there's common courtesy.
Mate, this is a 5.5 meter boat.
Yeah,
this is a big boat. Like, don't get me wrong. He may only be new at it, but having a 5.5 meter boat as your first boat.
Yeah, you should know what you're doing. Yeah. Just touching on a bit of news, like we're all over the shop here tonight, but we've just got so much to talk about. And hang around to the end of the show because we've got something exciting happening.
Oh,
no, not what's on the screen. I'm trying to get that to happen. But if that doesn't happen, we've still got something exciting to talk about.
Righto.
I want to shout out good mate of mine, Tommy Woods, good mate of the show.
Yes,
is currently over in the States.
I'm glad you brought this up.
He's on his journey. He's embarked. Now, let me tell you, Tommy's pumping out some pretty cool content daily on his Insta stories. So head over Tommy Wood Fishing. That's just TOMMYWOOD fishing. Follow him, give him a follow, because just watch his content, man. It is, if you know Tommy, he is just the most laid back dude. Like, he's put up a reel there the other day and sent me something. It's like, oh, I put the fridge on 24, but it was 24 Fahrenheit, and like froze everything in the fridge, and then he forgot to get something else, and it's
And look, he'd really appreciate all you Pelicans supporting him. You know, he's over there having a crack, so get behind him.
He's going to be over there. His first Opens tournament really isn't that far away.
No. Is he starting to do some practice for that? Is that the last I've seen?
He's well underway, so he's got his boat. He's got some sounders already rigged up to that. He's taken some gear over. He's in his van. He's got a van set up. And he put up a little reel there the other day that you probably wouldn't get the inside joke if you didn't know, but the engine light was on the van. And the old Tundra, he had the engine light had come on, go off, come on, and he just put that up and didn't say a word, and I'm wetting myself.
He would have had a bloody eye flicker in there, I reckon.
Yeah, but shout out to Tommy. We wish him all the best, and I was actually going to try and just give him a quick spontaneous call. We're having a bit of a long show here tonight, and I thought, why not get him on? But I don't want to ring him. It's only early over there. And he's probably trying not to get shot at or somewhere because he stayed in some dodgy neighbourhood. But what else you got there for us, big
mates? Look, I think that's really for me.
I've got a couple more mud
gudgeons. Yeah, no, keep going. We need all the mud gudgeons we got. We got to erase this shit.
So mud gudgeons offshore the other day, come into one of the closer reefs, thrown at me live baits, and there's like 15 boats just doing laps of the reef.
Yep.
And they're all trolling squids or Halco laser pros or something because they're going pretty quick. But no, old Jojo's on the liveys. So I sort of picked me pace and I'm sort of...
You're going slow.
About 2.5 Ks an hour and everyone's doing about 13.
Yep.
And I've put me baits out and I'm going along and I'm looking back at this old mate and I'm like, bud, you are in my fucking prop wash. Like, what are you doing? Next minute, my rod goes bananas. So I put the power down to power away while I wind the other rod in. So I've got the other one in, I've pulled it in, and then I've stopped because I'm fighting the fish. And at this point, I thought I was onto a big Spaniard, but it was the good cove I got. This fucker just kept trolling.
Oh.
And I'm waving at him like my fish is running like at your boat. In the end, I had to actually turn and drive away from him. And I'm like, have some courtesy. Like, and he saw me.
Yeah.
Like he was watching me hook up. So yeah, shout out to you cockheads.
You get some pretty mad issues like through there, like at the washing machine. I've also I can't remember who told me, but they done a bit of time off. Is it Broadbeach for the mackerel?
Yep.
Mermaid, somewhere around there?
Oh,
they reckon it's just like a highway of disasters.
Mermaid's crazy.
Yeah. So
I've got another gudgeon, as I mentioned, heading down to Newcastle. Now, I, in the past, have had not a good, what would you say, not a good rep with speeding fines. I've had my fair share of
Have you got your full points?
I have now because I haven't
good.
had any in many years. Is
boy.
it the other way around now, isn't it? You get 0 and then you work your way up, where it used to be you'd start on 12 and then you'd lose them.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
So I think it's reversed now, which gave me a heart attack. One day I logged on to see how many I had, and it said I had 0.
So 0 is good.
0 is good as far as I'm aware.
Right, okay.
And as you get them, once you hit 12 or 13, you're fucked. So I haven't had a good history with that. And now, a bit older, a bit wiser, I do put cruise control on a lot on them big straight highways where it's 110. I won't do it in 100 zone because you normally got heaps of corners. But in 110, you're not really tapping the brakes. I will put it on.
Yep.
Fucking grinds me is where I'm at 110 in the left-hand lane and old mate comes steaming past me and then pulls back in front of me and puts the brakes on. So now what do? I pull around him. I haven't touched my accelerator. I haven't touched my brake.
What is the go with this?
And then I overtake him and he thinks it's a race now. And I'm like, but I haven't changed my speed.
Yeah.
That fucking...
What is the go with that? So I experience this every now and again, and I wonder if the cruise controls of certain cars work in different ways, because sometimes you're there and you're in the space of 2 kilometres, you've gained 2 metres on them. You know what I mean? Like it's weird.
Yeah.
You get past, I get the shits and I just floor it and get like 50 k's up, and then I turn it back on again. But then I don't know, am I the mud gudgeon then if he comes up behind me? But I've been stuck behind his cruise control, but I've slowly gotten faster on my cruise control speed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a car thing. I think the cars might be talking to each other or something. I
think some people just fuck with.
Yeah. A bit of tinfoil on my head might understand that a bit better. But anyhow,
before we get into this big announcement we've got here and something very exciting that you've hung around to listen to, we want you to get you involved. I'm sure something's happened over the holiday break. Something would have broken. Something would have happened. Some funny thing would have happened. So send in the yarns to the Two Pelicans podcast at gmail.com. If not, over on our Facebook page. It can be a video. It can be whatever. I'll cut that out. We just want the audio. So send them in.
Guys,
send them in.
Guys, really love to hear from you. Look, a big shout out to the guys that have been sending me some messages throughout the week, just with the boat and that. But like, we want to get them messages onto this platform.
Yes.
We want to hear these stories. We want to hear that you've been catching mangrove jack somewhere. We want to know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's be clear and transparent and
that
might
might motivate. That might motivate some of the other pelicans.
That's right. So, guys, if you're doing that, that's great. But we want this forum for everyone to learn a little bit more about fishing, and have a crack at different things, whether it be a tournament, a jackfish, going out to sea for the first time, or their first inland fish. No matter what it is, send it in. People will learn from it.
100%, mate. Without further ado, we are about to announce live here, mate. You're going to record him here.
I'm going to try and steer me another ship here.
We're gonna put this up as a little reel. So if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, prior to Christmas, we put up a competition. In that prize pack, what do we have, Mick? What do we have in the prize pack?
All right. So in the prize pack, I think we've got a Wobbly Chook voucher, one of my shirts. I think the voucher was for $100.
We've dressed to impress here tonight.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Sure. Yamaha. But yeah, look, we've got that. So the other thing that we've got is Estuary Clothing. Andrew sent me a cap there as well, so that's in there. And we've got the Daiwa stuff.
So I don't know. You're probably looking at $300 worth of value, something like that.
Who knows? It's something.
We've got it here. So there's no funny business.
Two Daiwa packs. Was that what we're doing? I can't remember.
I can't remember. We'll jimmy something up. So I don't know if you can see over here. Bring her in, Nick. Bring her in. Bring her in here. So we've got all our comments loaded in here. Yeah, Peanut. Got all our comments loaded in here. Let's hit it.
Yep.
They're all going to drop in here. Loading. Should have done this beforehand, mate. Here we go. So we want one winner. Yep. Let's confirm. Let's hit her. And start. Here we go. She's counting down, folks. You're seeing it here first. There's no funny business. 4, 3, 2, 1. Who we've got? We've got a winner. Who we got? We've got Anna Campbell. Oh, that's Nigel's better half. Hey, congratulations. That's we'll go in there. So we haven't got any funny business. There we go. Congratulations to you, Anna. And,
well done, Anna.
And you know what? That couldn't have gone to a better winner. They're locals down in that area, and I'm sure they're going to pop into the Wobbly Chook. So that's awesome.
Well done. We'll be in contact with you soon.
So that's unreal. Congratulations there, mate. That even come up with Nigel's name there as well. I don't know why that's got there, but there we go. Oh, so she tagged Nigel. So there you go.
There you go. So, there you go. Well, because they fish together all the time, that was definitely the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's unreal. That's fantastic. Couldn't have gone to a better winner. We might just save and share that. That's unreal. So,
good guys.
Mate, I think that's probably about it. I think we've had a pretty bumper show this week.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of there to touch on?
No. Look, not really. But look, we're going to be doing a few things this year. We're going to be trying to get out and do a few things, get to a few different places. Be patient with us. We're going to get there. But more than anything, like I just want to keep harping on it, is send us in your yarns, send us in your experiences. We'd love to hear, like, what have you been doing over this holiday period, as Joey mentioned. Whether it's a fishing fuck-up, whether it's something else, we'd love to hear about it, and we'd love to talk about it. So please send it in to the Two Pelicans podcast at gmail.com, and hopefully we can hear from you soon.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. I might have something here.
You might have hooked one.
I think I've found something. Just dribble for a second. I want to make sure it's the right thing before I play
it. He's making sure it's not a porn clip, which is always good.
Nice.
But
because when I was
hang on, it's coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on.
Through anyway.
All right.
Is that wireless? You've got that unplugged.
I don't know how that happened.
Wow, mate, you've come big on the technology.
I don't know if I am playing the right thing here. No, let's just wing it. I wouldn't have sent it to myself if it wasn't good. Right. Let's give it a go. We'll give it a go.
Hate when people say must be nice. Because when I was pulling the late nights and early mornings on Saturday and Sunday while you partied, I didn't hear must be nice. When I was chasing a dream no one else saw and got ridiculed and doubted, I didn't hear must be nice.
Yeah, I obviously sent me that one because I thought it was a pretty good one. But yeah, I like that.
No, they gave me more motivations than you know.
No visual to follow with that one.
Yeah, no visuals here, so all good.
Mate, I think we'll wrap that up there. She's been a bumper episode back to the Two Pelicans podcast for 2025. Expect big things over here, guys. Yet again, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in to listen to us dribble shit. I'm Joey.
I'm Mick, and we are the Two Pelicans for 2025.
Yeah! Catch us next week, you weapons. See yous.
Wow, ciao.
Might go cook up some deer.